What is going on, y'all? Welcome to episode 43 of the Fight Night Forecast, where we highlight, recap, and cover all things boxing. Hey, we got a big episode for y'all today. I know I say that every week, but I'm being for real. We got a big episode. Y'all know that normally I, use this little notebook here to write down all my I guess notes, my script, if you could call it that. For every episode of the Fight Night Forecast. But listen, look, I don't usually be filling the page this month. I filled the entire page, so we got a full episode to get to. But very first, I got to come to y'all real quick and tell y'all that this was a little last minute. And you might notice too, I'm not in the studio. I'm traveling right now. Thankfully I had a couple friends that were very gracious to let me film at their crib. So y'all know who you are. And I appreciate you. Just know that I appreciate you. I have an opportunity to sit down with one of my really good friends, who is also in the boxing community. He's an amateur boxer himself, and luckily, the timings just kind of worked out. He has just got done in Houston with. It was actually last weekend, but he got done with his. I believe it was a collegiate nationals tournament where he won the belt at 154. So he is the USA boxing collegiate 154 champion. He was representing Middle Tennessee State University. But I'm sitting down with him Sunday for an interview. So we're gonna do a little fighter interview with my good friend Vernon. So look forward to that. We don't know exact time yet. We're gonna nail that down still, but yeah, look forward to it. It's going to be a good time. Just going to be kind of asking him questions about, what got him into boxing, just nuances and stuff that he's learned throughout his time in boxing, what it's like in the amateurs. So I think it'll be kind of in tournament style. Like we're going to ask a lot of questions about the tournament. So I think that it's going to be a really good time, and maybe it'll be a good chance for some of y'all to, maybe some of y'all that have never boxed before, or maybe you're interested in boxing, interested in amateur competition and what it's like. This will be kind of an inside look to it. Me being an amateur myself, I'll be able to give a little bit of insight. But he's had more fights than me, and he's done a lot more tournaments. So it'll be a good time to just sit down and do that. So at the same time, my gym went down there, so we had, I believe, 3 fighters from my gym that went. So congratulations to all of them. Everyone did phenomenal. Everyone walked away with at least one win. So, tournaments are tough. Judging can be tough at times. So, I'm really just proud of my fellow trainees, my fellow brothers in arms, if you know what I mean. So proud of everybody at Fighters Nashville. I'm gonna shout y'all out real quick. Christian, Edward, Vern won the championship. Shout out to the coaching staff, Coach Billy, Coach Chrissy. Man, y'all kill it. Y'all did a great job. Just giving a little love is all. So all the honestly, thank you to all the all the fellow fighters and training staff out at Fighters Nashville. Man, it's a really it's been a blessing to work with you all the time that I have. So. All right, let's get right into the episode, though. This past weekend, we had a dog fight, man. We had a dog fight on many different levels. It was March 23rd. That was this past weekend in Sheffield, England. On DAZN, we had Dalton Smith and Jose Zepeda, and this was a big step up for Dalton Smith. This was kind of his moment to. I don't want to say his moment to shine, because he's been shining pretty well already, but this is definitely his moment to prove himself. That's a better word. It was his moment to prove himself, and he did. He had a devastating knockout in the 5th round. Made a very big statement, and I got to show you guys the clip. It was a body shot that he got dropped with too. It was just, I got the ringside view of it too. So it'll show you guys. You'll be able to you're able to hear the contact, man. It was pretty wild. But I'll play this for you guys real quick. listen, I know I zoomed in myself by accident. Let's go. But listen, I know something that might not look like it hurt, right? But for the y'all, including myself, for the y'all that know that have been hit in the body like that before, y'all know that that can be a devastating blow. So takes the air out you, man. And Zepeda couldn't continue, so they called it right there. They finished the 10 count. Dalton Smith won, and he, you know, Zepeda's a tough dude. I want to say he's like 37-4, man, or something like that. You know, dude's a vet. He's been in the game for a minute. You know, at a high level too. He's fought a lot of high level people. You know, Dalton Smith, I believe that would have just moved Dalton to 15-0 or something like that. 15 or 16-0, one of the two. So, you know, dude's moving up, man. He's doing big things. I only plan on seeing bigger fights from him, really. You know what I mean? Eddie Hearn is backing him pretty heavy, and is wanting to see him in some bigger bouts. So yeah, man. Excited to see what's next for him. On that same card, we had a dog fight in the women's boxing world. We had Sandy Ryan versus Terry Harper, and it was a stoppage between the third and the fourth. So Sandy Ryan won. She ended the third round with a pretty good 3-4 punch combo that pretty much sent Terry Harper to her stool. So just honestly, for those first 3 rounds, if we're gonna be real, you know, Sandy Ryan was just outclassing Terry Harper, you know, and both ladies are you know, phenomenal in their division. And it's just sometimes it's one person's night and not the other's night. So shout out to Sandy Ryan, though. She's gonna keep on moving up, doing bigger things. But I don't think this is the last we're going to see of Harper either. I think, you know, Harper's going to go back to the drawing board, you know, get it figured out, and she's going to keep providing those good fights. So heck yeah. So also a little bit of an upset alert. I know technically James Flint was I think they were fighting for, and I want to say it was a British title or something like that. So it wasn't obviously wasn't a world title, but you know, Flint was the champion and Hatton was the contender. But Campbell Hatton lost. He lost a very, very gritty fight. It was tough. It was a lot of inside work, but it ended up going to be a unanimous decision for Flint. I think that this is just kind of a case of, you know, Campbell Hatton obviously is the son of Ricky Hatton, who really, in a lot of ways, is a boxing legend. You know, so I think James Flint he had a lot more of an amateur career, you know, and I think he's just had more, really at the end of the day, just had more rounds than Campbell, you know what I mean? So Campbell started out really strong, but it seemed like it was a 10-round bout. I'd say like the first maybe 4 to 5 rounds, you know, Campbell came out looking strong, looking tough, and he just it seemed like he just maybe kind of sunk off a little bit in those later rounds, and I think that's what lost it for him, you know? So, yeah, but it was kind of an upset. I think it might just be a case of Hatton's being fast-tracked a little too quick. Do I think that he's going to come back and do well? Yes. You know, I think he definitely has the potential of making something of himself in his boxing career if he wants that, you know, wants to continue that. Which I believe he does. But, you know, I think that we see that a lot sometimes. We see a perfect example of someone that I noticed through Top Rank, Jihad Tucker. I think Jihad Tucker at one point was maybe a little fast-tracked. Now, he's bounced back since, and he's been doing well. But, you know, sometimes you get a lot of hype around a fighter, you know, and you just want to throw them in these big bouts immediately, and sometimes they're not ready for that. Like, I think you guys know last week, I was talking about how Campbell Hatton was possibly about to fight Terrence Crawford. And then there was rumors after that he was going to fight Shakur Stevenson. So it's like, if that's not fast-tracked, then, bro, I don't know what is, bro. I mean, like, you know, he lost to James Flint. It'd have been maybe it'd have been a different story if he's in there with you know, arguably the pound-for-pound number one, and, you know, out of Terrence Crawford, and then, you know, superstar in boxing with Shakur Stevenson, you know. So I think maybe that might have gotten his head a little too in the fight. You know what I mean? And like, yo, these dudes are trying to scrap with me, man. This is about to be a big payday. I gotta, you know, you put the pressure on your shoulders to perform, you know, and go from there, man. So I don't know. I think that maybe he might have been looking ahead a bit, and that might have been part of it too. So, and that happens from time to time. That's just what it is. It's part of the game, right? Mental is a big part of the game. So, yeah. So I'll keep you guys updated. We'll see what's next for Campbell. We'll see what's next for Flint too, you know. But it was a gritty, good fight. Honestly, a good card. I was able to kind of sit down and watch it, and it was just a through and through good card. DAZN's been putting on some pretty good cards lately. So yeah. So let's get into this weekend of boxing though. Now this weekend, man, I know. Listen, wild. I didn't think because of it being Easter, you know. Like Easter weekend. Also, today's Good Friday. Hey, happy Good Friday to all those that celebrate. Very special weekend for many people, you know. So, but nonetheless, I thought with it being a holiday Easter weekend, maybe there wouldn't be too much going on. You know, I try to keep up with boxing a few weeks ahead of time, but really, I don't know. I guess I didn't realize this weekend was Easter when I saw all these fights a couple weeks ago. You know, Easter is usually a little later than this. I feel like usually it's like I feel like it's usually the first something week of April, but it's a little early this week. It might be because of leap year, but I'm not an expert on that, so we ain't gonna go on all that. But nonetheless, I guess I didn't expect Easter weekend to be this packed. So we're starting tonight, March 29th. Oscar Valdez is fighting Liam Wilson at junior lightweight, and listen, I think anytime Valdez comes out, it's a fun fight. It's always going to be a fun, interesting fight. I know he's had some big wins, he's had some big losses against some big names, but yeah, man, for real, I think that this is, you know, anytime we get a chance to see Oscar Valdez come out, fireworks could happen. You know, Liam Wilson is no slouch himself, so I think that you know, this could set up some future bigger bouts for either guy. You know, I think they're both on a title run. They're trying to get back. You know, Valdez is trying to get back to the title, and you know, we'll see what happens. I'm ready for it. I'm off tonight. Your boy's going to be hopefully sitting down, have a little time to watch some boxing. I believe it's a free fight on ESPN Top Rank tonight in Glendale. So yeah, if you have a chance tonight, watch it. On the undercard, we have another big women's fight. Man, these women are showing out, bro. Women are showing out. Sinisa Estrada and Yokasta Valle, they're fighting for undisputed women's strawweight tonight, and they've had some back and forth all week this fight week. So yeah, good to see that. Good to see some competitive women in there getting it. So I'm excited about that. Raymond Murataya at lightweight, you know, he's kind of an up and coming name at lightweight. He's fighting, man, this name's a tough one. Zolisani no Brigini. It's like Xolisani. I don't know, man. Y'all can hate on me for not pronouncing names, but I want to see y'all do it better, man. But nonetheless, yeah, Murataya's fighting him 10 rounds at lightweight. So, you know, Murataya's obviously trying to work his way up, getting that title shot at 35. You know, and if he keeps boxing the way he's boxing, it's about to happen too. So some low-key, some other notable names on the card, though. We got Richard Torres Jr. He's always a fan favorite, 2020 Olympian. You know, excited dude, kind of looks like Nacho Libre. He really leans into that pretty heavy too. You know, fun guy, funny guy, always, you know, brings the heat though, fight night, you know what I mean? So, be fun to see that. Emiliano Vargas, he's the youngest of the Vargas three, Emiliano, Amado, and Fernando Jr. So yeah, Emiliano, he's promising up-and-coming prospect. Aled Kid Kansas Garcia. I'm a big fan of him. I followed him on Instagram for a bit. Alan, if you just so happen to watch this, brother, hop on the podcast. I'm starting to do fighter interviews now. Trying to get some more interviews for y'all. Get you guys, you know, a little firsthand look at what some of the fighters go through. You know, so but yeah, big fan of Alan Garcia. He's gonna hopefully he gets a big dub this weekend and gets some eyes on his name, man. So let's move forward though. March 30th, that will be tomorrow. Amazon Prime has its very first pay-per-view in Vegas in conjunction with Premier Boxing Champions PBC. So it's going to be, you guys know, I've done episodes on it already. Keith Thurman has I believe he tore his bicep, so he is out, and my boy Sebastian Fundora is in. You know, Fundora's had some pretty decent wins in the division. He also lost to Brian Mendoza, who's also on this card. But Mendoza, I believe Mendoza's last fight was Tszyu, and he lost. So, you know, obviously there was probably a toss-up with Mendoza having a rematch and Fundora coming in and getting a shot, you know. So I think they just decided to go with the title shot for Fundora, which not mad at. You know, you guys know Fundora. A lot of y'all saw my short that I just posted the other day, the height difference. I mean, Fundora, I want to say is like, what, 6'7", 6'6", or something like that. So he's literally 154 pounds. 6'6", 6'7", 154 pounds. Dude is a freak of nature, you know what I mean? So I think it's going to be a tough fight for Tszyu just in that aspect alone. You know, I think really the keys to victories are going to be pretty simple for these guys. It's going to be, you know, Fundora outboxing probably for the most part, keeping him, using that crazy wingspan on him. And Tszyu's going to have to look to get inside and punish his body. You know what I mean? Teddy Atlas has said it for some time. I always like this analogy whenever I do coaching as well. You know, the bigger the body, the more, you know, the more windows to break out of the building. You know what I mean? So I think that we're going to look for Tszyu to cover himself with some fast combinations to get inside and work that body, work the inside. Pretty similar to what Mendoza did, because that was about the same. They're about the same height, Mendoza and Tszyu. So I expect to see a lot of what they did, you know, or what Mendoza did rather in that bout. So yeah, I think it's gonna be dope though. It's gonna be a good bout. Gonna be an interesting bout. Gonna be a very cool stylistic matchup. So looking forward to watching that tomorrow. On the undercard though, we got, you know, everybody's favorite fighter, Rolly Romero. He's fighting Pitbull Isak Cruz, and of course Rolly, and that's gonna be for the WBA junior welter. And I'm so sorry, the last bout, Tszyu Fundora, is a unification bout for Tszyu's WBO junior middleweight, and there's a vacant WBC middleweight, or sorry, junior middleweight title on the line. So it's going to be whoever wins that will have two titles at 154. You guys might have known, you know, Charlo is the pretty much the undisputed champion, you know, but when he walked into the Canelo fight, he had to relinquish, I believe, those two belts. So Charlo has the other two, the smaller Charlo, Jermel, he's got the other two belts still, but these, I think when he took that Canelo fight, he ended up breaking the mandatory time for those two belts, so they decided they were going to yank him. So, which part of the sport, it's what happens, you know what I mean? So, got to fight your mandatories out here, but you know, can't pass up that Canelo payday. So, so we got those two on the line. Then we have Rolly Romero, Isak Cruz. They're fighting for the WBA junior welterweight title, and that's Rolly Romero's. So, you know, Romero's a funny guy. He's out here, you know, doing kind of his like comedian style deals, comedian style act. You know what I mean? He's got had a chain made with a Chihuahua on it, and he's calling Pitbull Cruz he's calling him Chihuahua Cruz instead. So man, I think it's gonna be a good bout. I think that you know, as much as I'm not really a fan of Rolly Romero, if we're gonna be real, but you know, the dude's got a lot of heart. I watched a little bit of like the PBC Insider with him in it, and he was talking about how like he's like, man, I've been doubted my whole life. You know, I haven't been in boxing as long as a lot of these guys. And I resonated with him a little bit because I started boxing a little late, you know what I mean? And it's just one of those things where I'm learning. He's, you know, he knows how to sell a pay-per-view, and he acts really goofy and all that. And he might not be the best fighter available all the time, but, you know, still, he's a tough dude. He's fast. He's strong. I think he might have Isaac Cruz, you know, taken on the power and maybe even the speed side of things. You know, I mean, really do. I think that he's got Romero's got devastating one-punch knockout power. We've known that, you know, but he's got some good speed to him too, you know, and he's got that awkward style. And I think that that's going to be one big thing that Isaac's going to have to come through, is dealing with that very, very awkward style of his. So, and that plays into his favor. So, yeah, but I think it's gonna be a good fight. Ultimately, I do think if Isaac Cruz plays it right, he could win this pretty easily. But you know, nonetheless, I can't count Rolly out, bro. I really can't. You know, just from the last the last couple outings that Isaac Cruz has had too haven't necessarily looked his best. You know, he's kind of came down a little bit from that that pedestal that he was on for the Tank fight. You know, so we'll see what he comes out with. We'll see what he comes out with this time, and you know, we'll go from there. So also on that card, we have Arizlandi Lara. You've heard it right. You heard it right. The same Arizlandi Lara that fought Canelo back in like what was that, 2013, 2014, 15 maybe, something like that. So he is still the champion. He's the WBA middleweight champion. So you know, the American Dream, the Cuban Monster, the, you know what I mean, whatever you want to call him, Arizlandi Lara, he is fighting on this card. He's the third fight down, title fight. He's fighting Michael Zarafa. So should be a good bout. You know, Lara has changed his game quite a bit now. You know, he used to be like, you know, if you watch the Canelo fight, where a lot of people think he might have arguably won that bout, you know, he was much more of a mobile fighter, he relied a lot on footwork and movement and, you know, quick, fast combinations. But he's really switched his game up now. He's really a power puncher now. And he's shown that. He's had quite a few fights where he's, you know, put people on the canvas, man, which is surprising just because, you know, you're so used to Arizlandi Lara. You know, me growing up watching him, I feel like, you know, he was like always that slick, you know what I mean, head movement, quick, fast kind of dude. But yeah, he's definitely switched his game up, which he's had to do with age. He's having to lean more into his power as opposed to his mobility, because, you know, it goes like power is really one of the last things that goes, you know what I mean? And, you know, the footwork and the, you know what I mean, the stamina and all that stuff is kind of one of those things that can fade quicker, especially, you know, when you were a bigger athlete, you know. So that's why you see a lot of the heavyweight division, man, they're fighting clear through their mid to late 40s, because heavyweight boxing is so power reliant, and that's really the last thing that goes, you know what I mean? So yeah, so I think it's gonna be a dope fight. It's cool to see Arizlandi Lara in there still too, doing his thing, you know what I mean? Because I want to say he's got to be 39, 40, something like that, somewhere around there. So yeah, so it's just cool to see him in there doing it still at a high level, you know. And then Brian Mendoza is also on that card. Now, I want to say his last fight was Tszyu. He lost to Tszyu, so this is his kind of bounce back fight. I think he's fighting, man, this is another hard name, man. And you're gonna see some more hard names here in a minute, because we got a card this weekend in Bulgaria. So I got all kinds of names to butcher there. So Mendoza's fighting Sergio Bohachuk, I believe. And again, man, sorry, you know what I mean? If one of these guys just happens to stumble onto my podcast and watch me butcher your name, like, listen, man, I apologize, bro. I'm just trying to, you know what I mean? Just trying to give you a little bit of coverage. So, but it's for Mendoza's WBC interim junior middleweight, which I'm kind of confused on how that works, because Tszyu is fighting Fundora for the WBC junior middleweight title. But you know how it is, guys. For y'all that know how boxing works, the title and the interim status and the super statuses and the WBC franchise. Honestly, if we're going to be real, the WBC is probably the worst out of all of them for having, you can have a WBC champion, a WBC regular champion, a WBC interim champion, and a super champion all at the same time. And I think this really is what adds into a lot of frustration with people that necessarily don't pay attention to boxing all the time. They get a little frustrated. They're like, wait, I thought Bro was the champion. How is he the same WBC champion in a different weight class? But, it's silly things like someone moving up to a different division, but they're able to keep their WBC super status. It's a whole thing, man. I can go all day about how I don't like it and how it should change, but they're not going to listen to me, bro. They're making money. You know what I mean? They're not going to listen to me. They're not going to listen to any of us. They're going to keep doing it. So it's one thing we're probably just going to have to just deal with, unfortunately. So, but yeah, some other notable names on there. Julio Cesar Martinez. He's fighting Angelino Cordova for Martinez's WBC flyweight title. So we got a flyweight title on the line as well. So that's 4. We got 4 title fights on that one card. So that's going to be a good little bout. Amazon Prime kicking it off right with their first PBC headline. So we'll see how it goes. Some other good names though: Elijah Garcia, an upcoming prospect on PBC. He's fighting Kyron Davis, and then Kermel Motan. He's one of the Team Mayweather, the Team Money team prospects. He got picked up by Floyd Mayweather. Seems like he got picked up pretty young. I want to say he's probably been under Mayweather's promotion for a while. So yeah, we got some people in the chat here. Let me see. Let me make sure that I got chat views open so everyone can, in case people are commenting. I saw a bunch of people just kind of came in. So, all right, chat views are open. Hit hit the chat if you want to ask me something, make fun of me, do something like that. Hit the chat. Yeah, I'm always here for it. So, so March 30th, Inglewood, California, on DAZN. So this would be the same night as the Amazon Prime one. Arsen Goulamirian, maybe, is fighting Zurdo Ramirez for Goulamirian's a WBA cruiserweight title. So Zurdo, who fought quite a while at 175, is making the move up to cruiserweight. I think he's had one bout at cruiserweight already. I could be wrong on that. But I want to say that he's had one bout at cruiserweight already, and he did pretty well. So this is his first title shot at cruiserweight for sure. So yeah, I think Zurdo, we know how good Zurdo was at 175. Now he lost to Dimitri Bivol, but that's nothing to hang your hat on. Bivol's one of the best in the game right now. One of the top pound for pound fighters. So really, that's Zurdo's only loss. I think he's got something crazy like 42 wins or 45 wins or something like that. So he's gonna go ahead and do this little campaign at 200. So we'll see how it goes. The co-main of that fight, or the co-main of that bout, is Alexis Rocha and Frederick Lawson that's going to be at welterweight. So that's going to be a good bout too. Nice little co-main defeat into it. March 30th. This is in Bulgaria. Now this is what I was telling you guys about a minute ago. This I believe will be in the morning. So this will be in the morning of actually tomorrow morning, Saturday morning. So yeah, it's Kubrat Pulev. He is notable for fighting Anthony Joshua. I believe he lost. I want to say he got stopped in the 9th round. I watched that fight live, but he got stopped in like the 9th round or something crazy like that. So, but he, that's really his big claim to fame was fighting Anthony Joshua. He's kind of a lower level heavyweight, but nonetheless, he's very, very tough, and he's got one punch knockout power. I think his brother is on the undercard too. But he's fighting Ihor Shedevutsky, and that's 10 rounds at heavyweight. So that's going down in Bulgaria, you know what I mean? You gotta watch out. And the Bulgarian boys, you know what I mean? Anything Eastern European. If bro pulls up on me with a name like that, I automatically respect his boxing ability. I don't know, man. There's something about it. Something about that, those Eastern European guys, man, just, you know what I mean? I don't know if they just, I don't know what they feed them over there, bro, but I feel like every time they're just tough dudes, So then we got March 31st. Now this is actually going to be on Easter Sunday. This is going to be in Japan, so it'll definitely be a weird time. You guys know me. I've watch some Japanese boxing, man, at like 3 in the morning before, watching like some of the big title bouts over there, like with Nayo, Inoue, and all them. So this will probably be at a weird time. Don't know the exact time. Probably will be around that 3 to 6 in the morning time on Easter Sunday. But it's going to be Yudai Shigoka. He's fighting Melvin Jerusalem for the WBC strawweight. Now it's a strawweight doubleheader because you have his brother Jinhiro Shigoka, and he's fighting RR Andales for the IBF. So we have the IBF and the WBC strawweight titles on the line, a little doubleheader, and they're brothers, bro, and they're in the same division. So I'm kind of curious about this. If they win, we could see a unification bout between two brothers, which I think would be kind of interesting, man. I don't know how they feel about that, because I know there's been boxing brothers in the past. You got the Charlos, all kinds of, man. I mean, there's countless brothers that have made it in pro boxing, but a lot of them have sworn they'd never fight each other. So just kind of interesting. You never know. A lot of times they'll split up weight divisions too. Like, you got the Charlos, man, where they're in different weight classes and all that stuff, and they vowed to never fight each other, but they're in different weight classes. So if we had both the Charlos at 160 and both of them had 2 titles, it's like, I want them to fight. I mean, I know they're brothers, but I kind of want them to fight each other, or dudes got to get off the pot and, go to a different division. So we'll see what this leads into, man, because, there's 4 belts in that division. The brothers have 2 of them right now, and if let's just say that Yudai Shigoka goes and has another unification belt and he gets 2 belts under, and then the other brother has 1. It's like, or what if one gets 3? Like, I'm just curious, man. I don't know. Kind of throws me off a little bit, but and then to wrap it all up, this weekend of boxing, March 31st, and I believe this will be in more towards the evening of Easter. It's going to be in Britain. Fabio Wardley's fighting Fraser Clark for the British heavyweight title, and on that undercard is Ben Whitaker, which he's a big up and coming star in the making at light heavyweight. So a lot of people know him for his Prince Nassim style showboating. His last bout kind of went super viral when he actually got a couple points taken away on the cards because he was doing a bit too much, and I think we can admit that he was doing a bit too much. But nonetheless, it's fun. I always love watching him fight. I personally like that stuff. Maybe I'm a little flashy. Maybe I'm in the wrong saying that a little bit, but I enjoy it. I enjoy a little flashiness in boxing. I think that's kind of the beauty of boxing in a lot of ways, is like, it's not like a team sport where you're, required to necessarily act a certain way, maybe because you're representing more than just yourself. You're representing a team, but I think I like individuality when it comes to boxing, and I think it brings stuff like that brings a lot of light to your name, I guess, as long as you're still winning, which Whitaker's doing. He was also a 2020 Olympian. I want to say he was a silver medalist, maybe 1 gold for Britain. I can't remember, one of the 2. But yeah, it's gonna be good bout. Colin Simpson's also on that fight card as well. I'm a big Colin Simpson fan. Been following him on Instagram for a while, watching him come up. So again, Colin, you know what I mean? If you see this, brother, come on, you know what I mean? Come on, let me get you a little fight interview. But yeah, this is cool, man. It's cool to see some of these guys that, I've been following them for a minute, man. I almost feel like I'm kind of like watching them get put on kind of thing, So I think it's dope, man. It's just dope to see guys make their way up to the ranks, and you kind of, I don't know, I'm not sitting there trying to say I discovered him or nothing, but you know what I mean? But I've been watching his journey, you know what I mean? So pretty dope. So let's get into announcements real quick, man. Where are we on? We're rolling on about 35 minutes right now. So you know me, man. I don't try to make these mad long, but it's like, man, when you got all this to cover, bro. I filled the whole page. I couldn't even fill nothing else on the page. So let's get into these announcements. So we got some pretty cool announcements. Let's start with this though. Let's start with what my thumbnail is and my headline. Now listen, both Errol Spence Jr. and Terrence Crawford both want to fight the winner of Tszyu and Fundora. For you guys that maybe aren't as boxing savvy, which I'm really surprised you wouldn't know who these guys are, even if you don't really follow boxing too much, but you never know. You might have some new people watching. Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford had a undisputed bout at 147 last July. They're two of the biggest names in boxing. They collided, and Terrence Crawford beat Errol Spence Jr. pretty badly. So Errol Spence, though, is now trying to make his comeback. They're both, it seems like they were supposed to have a rematch at 147. That's kind of gone by the wayside. Both men don't feel like they can make 147 anymore. So now they're both trying to go to 154 and have their debut at 154. So both guys are big enough, though, that they could literally get this fight if they wanted to, like that. It just depends on who's, probably it'll just come down to it'll come down to Tszyu's team, who they want to fight, and B, it'll come down to the money situation. Whoever probably wants, I'm sure whoever wants less money will probably end up getting it, you know what I mean? Or maybe other way around, maybe whoever they think will sell the most pay-per-views will get it, you know what I mean? So nonetheless, both guys have literally come out and said, with Spence tweeted a picture of a shark or something where he's like, I'm hunting, coming to Vegas or something like that. I want Tszyu next, or, you know, the winner next. And then Crawford's done pretty much the exact same thing. He's come on to multiple boxing media entities and said, hey, like, you know, my plan is to debut at 154 and I want Tszyu, you know. So I think it's going to be, I don't know. I'm interested in this, though. Well, first we got to see who wins. We got to see who wins. You know, they keep saying they want Tszyu, but Tszyu's got to get through Sebastian Fundora first, and that's no easy task, especially on what, 2 weeks notice. Yeah, so the Fundora stepped in on 2 weeks notice, so we never know what could happen. But you know, I wouldn't even mind seeing something possibly. Maybe this is just me doing a little bit of boxing wheeling dealing. Maybe I wouldn't mind seeing like Crawford fight the winner and then Spence fight the loser. You know what I mean? And then whoever wins out of Crawford and the unified champion, maybe Spence gets a chance at them. So if it's Crawford again, then we get the rematch at 154 that everybody wanted to see because they felt like Spence is a little too weight drained. And then, you know, on the flip side, we're going to miss out on that possibility of Spence just jumping Crawford, even though Crawford won the original bout at 147. You know, a lot of people feel like Spence is maybe stepping on some toes by just being like, nah, I'm Errol Spence. I'm going to come get this title shot over Terrence Crawford, when Crawford technically beat Spence, so he's in a better place to negotiate that fight at 154. So I think it could be interesting to see how that plays out. And I'll let you guys know more I hear about it. Well, obviously we'll know a lot more after tomorrow, when we find out who wins against Tszyu and Fundora. So we'll see, man. This is the kind of stuff I like. You know what I mean? Y'all can probably see I'm geeking a little bit, you know what I mean? So I like to see, you know, big fights, and I like to see, you know, not how they're made, but you know, because we all know how they're made, but it's like, I like to see negotiations play out like that and see, you know, what's next. That's just maybe my boxing nerd side, the boxing business side of the whole thing. Yeah, so we'll see. Another announcement though, June 15th, Subriel Matias versus Liam Paro is now official. I mentioned that they were finalizing a deal last week, and it is now finalized for June 15th. I want to say it's in Puerto Rico, if I'm not mistaken. But it's gonna be good. It could be good bout. Paro is a very, very tough Australian boxer. And Matias is the boogeyman at 140. So I think it's going to be a very, very good battle on the 15th of June. And then we got, like I told you guys last week, for y'all that didn't watch last week's episode, we have a 7-week span of boxing coming up, like after the second week of April, that's about to be like insane. I mean, it's going to be like a pay-per-view every weekend from like April 14th or something, April 15th, something like that, clear through like June 15th. Like it's going to be insane. Like this like late spring, early summer session of boxing is about to be insane, man. Like, I mean, literally every weekend there's a fight that I want to see, you know? So, yeah, it's hype. Good time to be a boxing fan, man. It really is. And so we'll go Ergovich and Charles Dubois rather. Ergovich and Dubois, they're finalizing a deal. You might know them. Dubois, he had a pretty controversial loss to Alexander Usyk, but he's since then came back on that Day of Reckoning card, had a big win. Philip Ergovich was actually, he had such an impressive win on his day, on that same Day of Reckoning card, that they were talking like they wanted him to fight Anthony Joshua. That's how good he looked. So yeah, this would be kind of a heavyweight title eliminator, I guess, in some ways. But yeah, they're trying to put that on June 1st. And on the co-main, they wanted to do Wilder and Zhang. Now, Zhang just came off actually both guys came off a loss to Joseph Parker. So Parker's kind of making his way up the heavyweight ranks again. But yeah, both guys, I like this. I like this a lot. I like seeing where it's like, listen, we can take an L, but we're going to get right back in the ring. Because Wilder lost to Parker pretty recently, and then right after that, Parker just went and beat Zhang. So it's like both these guys are coming off a loss, but they're like, it's easy to, like, when you come off a big loss like that in boxing, it's easy to be inactive and not take another fight immediately. Maybe you're taking time to heal, this and that, but I think it's a testament to a fighter that they bounce right back in. You know what I mean? Like that you can take it off the chin, be able to come right back in. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, that could be cool. So they're finalizing that deal. I will let you guys know, if that is for sure. And I want to say, they want to do it in Saudi Arabia. They could end up just throwing this on the undercard of Better Be of Bivol, because I believe that's June 1st as well. So that could just be all thrown in together over in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. So so pay attention to that. We'll see if that keeps developing on that, and I will obviously be the first to let you know when it happens. So we're gonna finish this out right now. Last announcement. You guys might have seen this in the headline too. There were some new rules posted for Jake Paul and Mike Tyson, and I told you guys that this was gonna happen, and all y'all that asked me about it said, "Oh man, I'm turning it sideways and doing all kinds of crazy stuff. My bad." Man, I told you guys that it was gonna be interesting to see what rules they ended up coming up with. So and this isn't final yet, so there might be some more stuff added. So we don't know exactly what it is. My boy Enjoy Life, he hopped on. He's got the throw up emoji. Hey, also, bro, I got your hoodie, and I am back in your area this weekend, so I'm gonna hand deliver that to you personally. I don't know if you're planning on going to the gym tonight. I was thinking about stopping in at my gym and see my old gym back home and seeing some people. So I don't know if you're gonna be there tonight or not, but I do have your hoodie. It is in my possession, and I'm gonna hand deliver it to you this weekend since I'm back home. So let me know. You can hit me up personally, obviously, and let me know if there's a time and place that works for you. But all right, so let's get into it though. Let's get into it. So it's the new rules for Tyson and Jake Paul. Fighters over the age of 36 must successfully complete an EKG and EEG to detect heart or brain problems. So, obviously Tyson's the one that's over 30, was it 36. So Tyson's gonna have to go through that in order to get cleared. I'm not against that. At all. I think it's a good thing. I think that we should probably do that for most fighters, honestly, even under the age of 36, because I think that there's a lot of underlying health problems that people don't realize they have. So so there's that. So both fighters will wear 16-ounce gloves rather than 10-ounce gloves. So this is one that a lot of people have brought up, where they're like, okay, so this is gonna be more of a, you usually spar with 16-ounce gloves. So I don't know, this could play either way, because it could be with heavier gloves equal heavier shots, or it could be heavier gloves, more padded shots. So you can kind of think of it that way. I've done most of my sparring in my life with 16-ounce gloves, and you get rocked with 16-ounce gloves. It's possible, you know, but there's some that have more padding. It just depends on I guess maybe depends on the company they go with, more or less. But yeah, so 16-ounce gloves is going to be a mandatory, and they might add more stuff down the road. So, you know, we'll see what else they go to add. But so rounds will be scheduled with a duration of 2 minutes rather than the regular 3 minutes. So obviously regular pro fights, we usually, for men, you're looking at, you know, anywhere from 4 to 12 3-minute rounds. So these are going to be 2-minute rounds. They have not released the amount of rounds yet. I assume it's going to be a 6 to 8 rounder probably, just because of Tyson's age. But yeah, so we got that. And then the last one, and this is what I mentioned to y'all. I hate to say I was right. Y'all know me. I'm not a braggadocious player, you know what I mean? But I was right on this. It said I would not be surprised if this goes to some sort of draw. And it says, and this proves right here, no official judges will score the fight, therefore no winner unless a KO. And I would not be surprised if, like, 2 weeks before the bout happens, they come in and say a no knockout clause. You know what I mean? So just, hey, I'm going to keep putting these opinions out there, and I'm going to start, man, when they start happening, I'm going to start clipping them, bro, and putting them online for y'all, because, and I'll put a timeline on it and everything, because I guarantee, so they're saying now no judges are scoring, right? So no judges scoring, and then I will not be surprised if a couple weeks before the bout hits, they're going to say no knockout. So it's going to be the same thing. It's going to be the same thing as Tyson versus Roy Jones back in 2020. Guaranteed. Could almost guarantee it. I guess anything's possible. But yeah, so as soon as I see more of these, I'll keep letting you guys know. But this is, you know, from a pretty reliable source. And I think that interesting. Could be very interesting to see what else they add on there. You know what I mean? So, yeah, we'll go check it out. You guys can, I think there's some documentations released. You can actually look at this yourself if you don't want to believe me. And yeah, exactly. Enjoy Life said exhibitions can't have a winner. Yeah, exactly. And that's which is why I'm surprised. I don't think they've officially come out and said it's an exhibition yet, though. They have not, like, they're still deciding whether, and I think that probably has a lot to do with the health scan for Mike Tyson, because exhibitions also can't have knockouts either. And they're saying what? They're saying unless a KO. So there's no knockout clause put on yet. You know? At least as far as I know. Maybe I'm wrong on that, Sean. Maybe you know if you can knock someone out in an exhibition. But as far as I've always known, you couldn't knock anybody out in an exhibition. So, but I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. So, but yeah, go check these out yourself. Go see what maybe you guys find something that I didn't see also. So, but yeah, listen, y'all, that's going to be a wrap for today, though. I'm going to go ahead and pop our buddy Jake Paul off the screen. He said true, but it's still not a fight legally. Yeah, so exactly. See, they're working all that out still. And so that's why, I think that they did a good job hyping it up in the very beginning, getting everybody talking trash on it, all this stuff, getting people being, excited to watch it. Some people not excited to watch it. And, I think even a lot of people that hate it will probably still end up watching it, though. But yeah, so they're getting everybody hyped. They had this big, they did that trailer and did all that stuff. And I think that they did a good job hyping it up. And I think that what they're going to do is they're going to, just like they did with Tyson and Roy Jones, they're going to backtrack on all this stuff and be like, it'll be the day of the fight that most people that don't really follow boxing, or, most people that don't watch the Fight Night Forecast, they won't know what hit them. They're going to be discussing the rules pre-fight, and they're going to be like, no knockout? No judges? This is an exhibition? Like, they're going to be caught off guard by it. I'm telling you right now. And I guarantee mainstream social media will be all over it saying, this is bull. This was just like the Mike Tyson, Roy Jones fight. But listen, if you're a subscriber here, you will have been known that. You'll know that going into it already. Y'all will already have the inside scoop because you follow the Fight Night Forecast, baby. You know what I mean? So, man, tell a friend, bro. Tell a friend so they're not lost on, man, so that way they're not lost on Facebook looking like a clown on there being like, this wasn't even a real fight. Because if you tell your friend, bro, don't let your friends don't let friends look like that. Friends, I'll tell you what friends do. Friends tell their friends to subscribe to the Fight Night Forecast. That's what they do. You know what I mean? So don't let your friends out here be looking dumb. You know what I mean? Because when they look dumb, they're an extension of you. When your friends look dumb, it's an extension of you. So, but anyway, hey, listen. Pleasure coming at y'all. Thank you guys for tuning in, as always, every single week. Man, the gang's only getting bigger. We just hit a little over 1,400 subscribers. I think we're about to hit 1,450-ish, probably, pretty soon. So, yeah, again, thank you guys for everybody that's tuning in, sharing, you know, putting hate in the comments, man. I've been getting a lot of hate on these shorts comments, which I love it, man. Keep bringing it to me, bro, because if everyone's liking everything, you know, every single thing you're doing, that means you're probably not doing something right. So if I get some haters in these comments, then that's fine, you know. So to my giveaway winners, again, I just told one of my giveaway winners that's in the chat right now that the hoodies are in. I have them. I'm gonna get them out to you. I'm hopefully hand delivering 2 of them today. So, and then I have one that I got to mail out, and then 2. Actually, I have 3 I got to mail out. 3 I got to mail out. So I'm mailing 3 out, and I'm hand delivering 2 of them today. So, so yeah. So be on the lookout. So, again, hope you guys have a great rest of your Holy Week. Hope you guys have a great Easter. Spend time with family. Hope you get a little bit of time off. You know, if you are a religious person, I hope you take some time to reflect on, you know, what you believe in, and you know, maybe count your blessings and realize that you know, life ain't so bad all the time. So, again, thank you guys for tuning in as always, and be tuned in for Sunday. I don't have a time yet. I'll try to post a time if I can. We're probably shooting between 3 to 6-ish. It'll be somewhere around that time. So be on the lookout. My really good friend and training partner, Vernon Cooper, the collegiate 154 national champion. I will have an interview with him. We'll probably sit down for about an hour on Sunday. It'll be on YouTube Live. So the plan is to do everything live. So seriously, hop in, man. Ask us some questions if you don't have anything going on. You know, you can ask me and Vern anything you want to ask us about, you know, tournaments, amateur boxing, USA boxing, how things work. You can ask us about, you know, what got us into boxing, this and that. But more than anything, you know, I'm thankful to have my friend Vern on, but this is going to set up a lot more future interviews on YouTube Live. So he's going to kind of help me learn the ropes on interviewing on YouTube Live. So big thank you, big shout out to Vern for even being willing to do it, man. So you know, it'll be kind of a guinea pig experience, but it'll be cool because me and him are boys, so we'll kind of be able to laugh it off if it's complete trash. So and then if it is, we'll figure out a different way. We always do. That's how we do here, the Fight Night Forecast, baby. So but yeah, seriously, if you guys are free Sunday afternoon, don't really have anything going on, maybe you just had Easter lunch with your family or something, and chilling, want to watch a fight interview, then hop on, man. We'll be here Sunday. So I will catch you guys in a couple days. You guys enjoy your weekend, and I'm out. I'm out. You guys have a good weekend.